Hey Munsties, is a third Meg movie on the way? Well, possibly. While the Meg 2 is set to finally reach theaters on August 4th, the director, Ben Wheatley, is currently on a press tour for this, and he has spoken up on the possibility now of a third Meg, hinting that he has plans for it. Now, plans don't always come to fruition. There was plans for a Pacific Rim 3, specifically Pacific Rim 3 to cross over with the Godzilla MonsterVerse. And maybe one day that could still happen after the current saga of the MonsterVerse is over, but that's another story. But the point is, the director has plans, and of course the studio will always want to cash in and make more money. So the idea is out there, but what exactly does the director say? Well, let's take a look. According to Games Radar, Ben Wheatley says, the Meg 3 is something you don't want to talk about until Meg 2 is out. Well, obviously, he's here to promote Meg 2. But he goes on to say, I hope so. There's a lot more to explore in that world. It's very rich. But he also goes on to say, the internationalness of it is very interesting. And he goes on to say, it's just people working together and being in an everyday adventure, and the people just happen to come from places all over the world. I think that's good for audiences, and it's a good message as well. So the point is it looks like, yes, the director has goals for a Meg 3, but what can we actually expect from this? Well, the director seems really responsive to the idea that people of different cultures are working together as characters in these movies. So maybe we could expect monsters from other lores. A slight spoiler for the Meg 2. If you've seen the trailers, there's literally a kraken, as opposed to the first movie being, I believe, just mostly megalodon. I think it eats a giant squid. You don't even get to really see the giant squid. You see some tentacles in the first movie. But this looks like he wants to tap into the chemistry of different people from all over the world, which will definitely open up new mythology. Personally, with as extreme as this new Meg 2 looks, I wouldn't mind just throwing the Meg in with the MonsterVerse at some point. But that's just my long-term fantasy. You see how Godzilla and Kong are getting wilder with their fights. It's not quite as serious as the Japanese Godzilla movies are nowadays. And with now a resurrected Megalodon fighting Krakens and even dinosaurs in this new Meg movie, I think it could be a good fit further down the line to have a team-up or crossover between the Meg and Godzilla. Now, obviously, the Meg would be much smaller compared to Godzilla unless they grew him in size. That's just some speculation. Really, all we know is that the director wants to do a Meg 3 and wants to explore more cultures, which I suspect will lead to more mythology from other cultures, including other kaiju. Speaking of the Meg and the Meg 2, the Meg 2 just dropped what appears to be its final trailer. That is out. I'm going to avoid doing a review of that because I plan on going to see the movie. I don't want to know everything that's happening before I go into the movie. Alright, are you going to see the Meg 2? Do you wish there's a Meg 3? Would you want that in the MonsterVerse? What are your expectations? What do you take away from this quote about how the director is very interested in different people's cultures crossing over? Could that be a hint at the plot, or is that just a nice little compliment to bring people together in a world that's so divided nowadays? Alright, Musties, thanks for watching.